back of the hand. Plenty of variations for Isuru Udana.
That's why he's a well sought after player around the world, different franchises. Well, when Colombo Kings took the field, they looked so dialed up. Now cracks have started to appear in their resolve. They have to gather themselves. Otherwise, these two batsmen, they're going to take the game way away from them. Time to react.
And Russell mentioned this decision by Angelo Matthews to get to Isuru Udana with the ball. He's a wicket taker. But he's also known to his opposite number, Kusal Pereira, in an aggressive manner. Times this one nicely. And it's yet again my 11th circle champion shot from the captain.
Well, Gurbaz was difficult to handle, and now it's Pereira getting into the act. A nice pickup stroke. Sighted the ball early. He was in a good position and executed that pickup stroke quite efficiently.
Red dot delivery. I can see the excitement in my colleagues alongside me, two left-handed batsmen as well. Always enjoy seeing a left-hander in full cry with the bat.
So much more stylish than right-handers.
I hear you, Russell.
Very humble Russell. Slow delivery, but there'll be a single.
Another feature of this partnership. And the type of shots that they've been playing, they forced Matthews to push his fielders in the circle right onto the 30 yard. And that allows you, if you take the pace off your shot, drop and runs, that awareness allows you to just rotate, strike and keep that scoreboard moving.
That tells you the pressure is ramping up on Colombo Kings. Feeling the pressure. They have to do something special to break this partnership. Fielders, they need to be alert.
This is interesting. Deep fine leg, deep square leg for Udana. It's not that he's extra quick. Clever. That was predictable, the short one, but Gurbaz, he's got a different gear. How good was that?
It's not all about Gurbaz, or not all about muscles when it comes to Gurbaz. Have a look at that delicate touch, just guiding the ball over third man, and nicely executed stroke from Gurbaz. And that is my 11th circle boundary.
2 sixes, 10 fours. Was there a finger on it? A confident looking Isuru Udana raises his finger and the umpire goes upstairs to double check.
They needed a break. The Colombo Kings needed a break, and looks like it's come off after a brilliant straight drive from Gurbaz. Straight drives don't get better than that. Yes, it's flicked his thumb. Kusal Pereira, he's short. We'll of course have to confirm. It's easy for us to predict. Oh, he's in. How good was that from Kusal Pereira? Now, perfect way of backing up. Your bat is near your crease, even though he's a meter or two down the wicket. So that break doesn't come the Colombo Kings' way.
Great reflexes. Great reactions. Oh, he's been given out.
That's surprising. I thought he was in. Umpire Lyndon Hannibal's, I'm sure he'll have to change his decision here. It did touch Isuru Udana's thumb, so that means if Kusal Pereira was out, it was in his crease, it cannot be given another, but if it's out, yes. There we go. He's corrected his decision. After 5, it's 62 for no loss.
So 5 overs gone, 62 for none. Gurbaz 41 off 19 and Kushal Pereira 21 off 11. And there's still some batting to come with Kushal Mendes. Patan also likes to wield the wello. So there's some batting to come, and this is going to be quite interesting with a little bit of leg spin into the game. This boy is very, very talented. Kesh Ahmad plays for the Hobart Hurricanes in the Big Bash. Started playing for them when he was just 18 years of age. He actually lit that tournament alight when he took a wicket in his early spells and did a forward flip in the air after he picked up the wicket. But he's bowling straight away to Pereira. He's a leg spinner. He's got a wrong on as well. That's down the ground. Rashan Abasinghe and also Mickey Arthur alongside me. G'day, guys.
Good evening, Hazy. Yeah, what a start. What a start for the Tuskers. Kushal Pereira actually made to play second fiddle here.
Yeah, and that's not what Kushal Pereira normally does. He normally takes the game on for us straight away. But Gurbaz is going really well at the moment.
Hang on a sec. Who's us? You're talking about Pakistan, South Africa?
It's all Sri Lanka at the moment for me, thanks, Hazy.
Okay, just checking. That's a big hit. That is a very big hit indeed, and that's gone all the way for 6. That's a fine strike.
Magnificent batting here. Absolutely brilliant. He is really, really announcing himself for the young man. Take a look at this. Tossed up. No real turn. And he's gone with a slog sweep over mid-wicket. This is great entertainment. I'm sure people watching at home, they must be really, really excited to see this start.
The one thing he knows is it's Afghanistan player versus Afghanistan player.
That's another fine strike indeed, and what a way to bring up the 50. That is superb. That's his 7th T20 50. He's just a youngster, Gurbaz. He was a little bit shaky right at the start, but my goodness, he's played some terrific shots.
He has. He's hit the ball powerfully. He fancies that area from sort of mid-on all the way around to deep extra cover. He's played some very, very good strong shots, he has. Looks a very good young player.
Showing a bit of strength there, letting us know about his biceps.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get out next ball after doing that.
No. So he's certainly taking the attack to Ahmed. Oh, he said that might be a chance. This should be out. It is out. Evans is the catcher. Ahmed, a leg spinner, is always in the game.
Always in the game. Genuine wicket taker, the leg spinner. And that's what you pick leg spinners for, is you pick them to take wickets and get you the breakthrough, which Kesh Ahmed has done. And again, pointing towards his bicep and then getting out next ball is never a good look.
They needed that, that's for sure. After winning the toss, Colombo Kings, a couple of smiles now. So he's on his way now, Gurbaz for 53 off 22 deliveries. You can see he's annoyed with himself. And the first one down, 75 runs on the board. And also time for the strategic timeouts.
Cricket lova kalamba Pitiya yali sarasa Ekma jaya gamu lova jaya gamu Sinhanada batura It's the battle of the champions It's the glory of the nation It's a celebration It's a revolution You can feel it everywhere
அடியில சுத்தி இறங்குவோம் பண்டையத்தை நத்தியத்தை நோக்கி ஒன்று ஒன்ன கள்ளத்துல நெருப்பத்தை வீசி வெட்டையாட கட்டுக்குள்ள 11 சிங்க குட்டி வந்துருச்சு
T20. Win together.
Cricket lova kalamba Pitiya yali sarasa Ek bajaya gamu lova bajaya gamu Sinhanada batura It's the battle of the champions.
He is the coach of the Colombo Kings. He was giving them some advice in the middle. It'd be an interesting coach, I think, Herschel Gibbs. What do you think, Mickey?
Oh, fantastic. I think it's the poacher turned gamekeeper there for a bit, but it's really good to see him in the game. Hirsch got a wonderful cricket brain.
Did you say coach? I thought he was here for something else. I was told when he got on the flight, he was coming for something else.
He was.
And look at that. Look at that. Kusal Mendes. Well, that's a big hope for Sri Lanka, I can tell you. Mickey would want to talk about it. I think he's one player who can play across all formats for Sri Lanka.
So Ahmed has picked up 1 wicket. A couple of balls left in this over. That's gone for 4. So he's been a little bit on the expensive side, but picking up the wicket of Gurbaz has helped his team.
That's Kusal Mendes just going about his work so well. Very quick on his feet, got back in the crease. The thing about Kusal Mendes, and I said it earlier, is I think he's one of our players that picks length the best. He gets back, he cuts really, really well, and he's straight into his work.
So let's assess things. I think the surface is very good. The boundary, by the way, is 70 metres all round. So that's okay. That's absolutely fine. There's no dramas there. End of that over, the first from Case Omad. 79 for 1. So the run rate is certainly healthy at just over 13 at the moment. So 79 for 1. 6 overs gone at this stage. So they've got off to a bit of a fly. So just to recap, the conditions are good in the middle. It's a good surface. As Darren Ganga told us before the start of play, the boundary is good. That's the power play.
Dushmanta Chamira coming in here. He's got genuine pace.
You like him, don't you?
I do. I really like him. Anybody who can bowl the ball upwards of 145 is very exciting. He's an excitement machine. I was really surprised Angela Matthews didn't give him the new ball. You want to give the new ball to Dushmanta. That was the wicket there of Gurbaz. Again, it was Afghanistan player versus Afghanistan player, wasn't it? He looked for that extra cover boundary and just ended up skying it.
Just a little tussle with each other very well, obviously. Not out of the middle. Effective enough. Going to pick up a couple. I think there's time to come back for the third. Nope. Too many threes on this ground.
Very encouraging, as you said, Mickey, to see Dushmanta Chamira back, because when I first saw him, when he played for Sri Lanka, I remember how quick he was. He played at the Sara Oval in a test match. He bowled really quick. He was an exciting prospect and then fell away because of injury. But good to see him strong, free of injury and firing.
He's worked really hard, Rashawn, and again, I say a guy that can bowl that pace is certainly well worth his weight in gold.
Just a bit of bat on that. Nice work.
This is the one thing that we've generally been trying to work with him, and that's his change of pace. You know, again, you've got the pace. He's the type of bowler, and I think I was talking to you earlier today, Rashawn, when we've got two guys who can bowl real quick. You've got Lahiru Kumara and you've got Dushmanta Chamira. Now, what you want is Kumara's, we'll see him later in the tournament. His variation needs to be a gear down. Dushmancha Chinera's variation needs to be a gear up, and those are things we're working on with him.
That's nicely bowled, nice and direct at the body. We all know that Pereira likes playing that stroke, giving himself a little bit of room.
Yeah, that was certainly a gear up, isn't it? I mean, surprised him, onto him quite quickly. But yeah, it's very exciting times, and I think this tournament will serve as a great notice for everybody watching. And hopefully, the Sri Lanka could or will be able to build a very good T20 side, because don't forget, Sri Lanka were the top team in T20 cricket. And they were one of the best in the world, and you know, the players they had, it was a pity that they fell away, and I'm hoping that this tournament will serve as the perfect answer.
Well, most of the sides around the world have got these tournaments going now, and it certainly has done a lot for franchise cricket in the various countries. The overseas players, the influence of overseas players coming in helps a great deal, so this is the start of something I think that could be quite special.
See, what we must hope for is that there'll be greater interest as the tournament goes forward. Bigger names gets attracted to this. See, at the moment, there were quite a few issues, as you know, injuries, tours, so quite a few players pulled out. So the bigger the names, the greater the experience, and that's what will really benefit the young cricketers coming through.
Yeah, I know. Just coming out of our test camp in Kandy, how excited the players were to get out and play cricket and to play in their own franchise tournament. Just from a tactical point of view there, I thought it was so good of Angelo Matthews to bring in a first slip to Kusal Mendes first up.
Oh, that's gone over the top of a couple of guys. Bit of exercise for the umpire.
Good pace, really good pace. The advantage he has is he's tall, and he hits the deck hard, and he gets bounce.
He does that, and he's got a really good action. So you know, he's exciting, and he's been around for a bit, but he's still very young in terms of experience, because he hasn't played that much because of his injuries. So we're kind of learning on the bounce. David Saker's doing a great job with this bowling unit, and I know he really enjoys Dushmancha Chimera.
Down the ground, couple of balls to finish have certainly destroyed that over. That's gone for six. That's a wonderful shot from Pereira. Outstanding stuff in the end. 15 runs off the over, 94 for 1. There's a look at the Manhattan graph at the moment. Mickey, how do you read things?
Well, I read things, Candy Tuskers, what in the ascendancy here. That is a phenomenal start. 94 for 1 after 7. They're playing unbelievable cricket at the moment. I do think it's a really good wicket, though.
Ahmed again. A bit of turn. There's no doubt there's going to be more turn on the surfaces as we move throughout this tournament, as tracks get a little bit more worn.
I think that's the challenge. All the games here, but the good thing is, now take another look. Kusal Pereira, what a player he is. Such an explosive player. I mean, he can destroy attacks.
Yeah, but that was the variation. Because he's bowled the bouncer and he's gone over the keeper's head for 4 wides, he's actually then just tried to put the ball up into the slot. And Kusal Janath read that well. What you want from Chimera is there to bowl his best ball, hitting the top of off stump after that.
Again, some nice turn. Now we've got to thank our sponsor, of course, the My 11 Circle, getting behind this tournament. And there's an app that you can download, And you can select your fantasy cricket team and play with real champion cricketers. All you got to do is download that app from my11circle.com, start playing on the app and picking your team of players. You get maximum points in a match. So jump on that and play with the champions only on My11Circle.
This is the phase of the innings that I'm most interested in, because this is when you need to do the hard work. Kusal Janath has got himself a start. He needs to bat through, and Kusal Mendes needs to support him. Together, these two will run very, very well between wickets.
I think, as you correctly said, this tournament would naturally serve as a notice, but this is the time the maturity of players is seen and how they soak the situation. As we know, T20 cricket is not about bang, bang, bang.
Oh, well ball, Casey. Boys, come on, boys. Number 2 here, lads. Number 2 here, lads.
So it's a good over so far, 5 from it. Can he finish? That's the important thing. 2 men back, long off, long on. Full toss, got away with it too. They pick up a single, they pick up 3 figures now. Do the Tuskers, 100 for 1. I guess we've got to also remember this broadcast obviously is going around the world. We need to remember there's quite a few people around the world, and in particular maybe in Sri Lanka, who are watching T20 cricket for the first time. 20 over games, of course, both sides, bat for 20 overs, so 12 overs left in this one. And this is as good a start, Rashan, as you could hope for.
Brilliant, brilliant start. And this is what this league needs. It needs runs, it needs good pitchers, it needs good stroke players. That's what attracts the world's attention. And I think the start has been outstanding.
There's been quite a bit of rain around over the last little while as well, so congratulations to the ground staff for what they've done. That ball coming on nicely, just using the pace and just working it back at a square on the leg side. Only a single this time.
Yeah, Angelo Matthews gone to his trump card again, Isuru Udana, he's a pro in this type of area. He generally controls just outside the power play. So you'll normally see him bowl 1 in the power play, and then he'll bowl 1 or 2 through the middle, and then one or 2 at death, depending on how many he's got left. But what he does is he gives control.
I hope he's okay. He was just holding his side a little bit there as he was going back to the top of his mark. Remember, a lot of these players haven't played competitive stuff for a long time.
I think he was in the IPL. He was the only Sri Lankan.
Oh, that's right, he was. Yeah, he would be doing a lot of bowling. So maybe it's a bit of wear and tear.
I was very impressed the way he put his hand up and the way he won the confidence of Virat Kohli. I mean, he was used so judiciously, and that just took him to another level.
What an opportunity. Oh, that's beautifully bowled.
Yeah, just on that, I had a lot of communication with Mark Hesson around the time, and he won a lot of plaudits in that Bangalore camp. The guys enjoyed him. They thought he was a leader around the group. He gives 100% all the time. He's a wonderful squad member, so he's really important for Sri Lankan cricket for us going forward in this form of the game.
He's got a handful of slow deliveries. He's got that one out of the back of the hand, which is very difficult to bowl. This is terrific so far.
Really interesting story. His first love was athletics. He's been an athlete. Actually, he took to cricket later.
A bit like yourself, Rashan.
I wish.
I said a bit like. Would have been on his way by some distance.
Yeah, there was me just saying these two will run fantastically well between wickets.
Well done, Mickey. So just 2 runs off the first half of the over. Great stuff from Udana. Beautifully bowled.
The other thing I'm enjoying, because I know Crystal Janeth's mindset here. Crystal Janeth wants to keep going, but he's eyeing up the scoreboard. He's having a look where they're at, and I think he's eyeing up a really, really big score. And that's the kind of passion and that's the kind of leadership we want from our players in Sri Lanka. Gone are the days of when you've got in, you've done your job. He needs to go through now and play a match-winning innings for his team.
Previous ball was that one at the back of the hand that I was mentioning. Right, Mickey, tell me about these deliveries.
Yeah, he's got a batch. That one out the back of the hand, he mixes it up so well and so much. Now, ironically, that one out the back of the hand, he bowls about 3 or 4 of them. And he bamboozles a guy saying he bowls as sort of 7 or 8. But he's got 3 or 4 that are really good. But these 2 would know him very well because they've spent a lot of time facing him in the nets. What he has done, Michael and Rashan, is he's given some control here, which Angelo Matthews desperately needed.
Interesting looking at Mendes there. He's looking leg side. He was trying to look leg side when Udana wasn't looking at him. Right, beautifully bowled. Can't do much with that. That is an outstanding over. Considering the situation in this game, that was brilliant. 3 from it, 103 for 1. Oh, that's a freebie. Could have put that away for perhaps better than that. It's a boundary in the end. Thank goodness it was, I suppose. It was a very loose delivery from Ahmed.
Well, it's a My 11 circle champion shot.
And that's a shot Kusal Janeth plays a lot. So when Kusal Janeth reverse sweeps, I'm really happy because he practices that so much. That's a proper shot for him.
I can see it sailing over the rope on the leg side, personally.
Wow!
Sliding down the leg side. Bound off the first ball, the over is really important right now for the Tuskers. That can kick him into a very good over.
Spot on, Hazy, and I like the fact hit the boundary, get off strike, and that's something that we're talking a lot to the Sri Lankan players about, because as we can all see, the skill and talents there.
Mickey, just to add a little bit here, I know when you came in, you wanted to make Sri Lankan players world class. We'll come to that after this ball. Mendes, very good work at extra cover. So you never spoke of winning or losing. I mean, you never spoke of winning, but your intention was to make them world class. What does that mean?
World class makes them the best that they can be. So we go back to preparation. Everything they do needs to be world class, because then you start inculcating good habits, and that's what we're trying to do with them.
So you happy with the progress, see?
I'm over the moon with the progress. The guys are hungry. They're dedicated. They've worked the house down through the phase in the world that we've been through, and they're ready to play, you know. And I think we're seeing it now. So I'm very happy.
That's beautifully bowled.
Well, the last 2 overs have been brilliant. The last 11 balls, 5 runs in this. Udana was even better. That's the attempted leg break. I thought he got just stuck a little bit in the pitch.
He's got to finish. Can he finish? Inexpensive, a little bit quicker, and that's fine. It's just single off the last. That's good stuff from Case Ahmed. 109 for 1.
It's 109 for 1, going at better than 10 runs and over. Gurbaz was outstanding at the top. The two Kusals, Pereira 40 and Mendes 10. Mendes just warming up. Pereira has been good as well, 40 of 25 balls. Time for Kusal Mendes now. And good evening, Amir. Good evening, Darren.
What an exciting start to this Lanka Premier League. Head into the gap and definitely race away towards the boundary line for yet another My 11th Circle champion hit.
Indeed, and this outfield is brilliant, isn't it? It travels so quickly.
Good evening to you, Roshan. We've seen some exciting stroke play from the Kandy Tuskers, in particular Gurbaz first up, then the captain Kusal Pereira, and now Kusal Mendes getting into the act, showing the type of tempo that you expect at this stage of the innings.
Looking for the ramp. It's been a good comeback by the Kings, particularly the last 2 overs, and now they need some really good overs in the middle. See, what they will have to be careful is not let this pair run away with a big partnership.
Yeah, with a rollicking start, the opposing captain, Colombo Kings captain, was saddled with so many worries. But he's using his bowlers now with the right ideas, and that's why they've been able to control the game a bit, which was running away. Oh, this will sail over the boundary line for a 6. Tremendous pickup stroke from Mendes.
Well, in the first 6, they scored at 13 runs and thereabouts. After that, there was a little bit of a lull, but this will help that acceleration. Many of the good teams in T20 cricket, they score at a faster rate in the middle overs.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Very big over again. Coming up now, 10 runs of 3 balls. How will the Tuskers be able to finish it? That's the key.
Well, they're still showing the tusks, aren't they? The big ones. They're definitely in charge of the game.
Just a single. And interestingly, there is a fair play award that has been instituted to award the team. That's called the Cycle Incense Fair Play Award, to the team which plays the league in the best spirit of the game. Now, each team is going to receive points by match umpires based on the team's conduct, which is very good. You need to make sure that the right spirit is being employed by teams when they play. Because let's not forget that millions of young kids watching this.
Now that's why it's called gentleman's game.
Well, 45 runs the partnership, 31 balls, still a very good rate. So Pereira on strike. This time from round the wicket. That's a wide. That is a wide. Just went too wide on the crease. He's got mid-off in, but he's gone full and wide. It was an invitation to go over extra cover.
Maybe a change in attack to Kusal Pereira. He's such a good player. He reminds me a little bit of Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson, because he plays risk-free cricket and he scores at a fast rate. And that is what you want to see from someone batting at the top of the innings. Not giving opportunities to the opposition, but also scoring and making his team strong in a good position.
Doesn't he remind you of a Sri Lankan?
Sana Jayasuriya.
Through the covers, that's it, powerfully. But straight to the field, so only a single. But this outfield is brilliant. Brilliantly maintained ground. Pitchers look good, and it's giving real value.
Yeah, one has to congratulate the curator for producing such a pitch, well suited for T20 format, allowing the batsmen to express themselves, play with freedom, and that's what everybody wants to see in a T20 game.
President of Sri Lanka Cricket, Shammi Silva, is here, and must be quite pleased that this league is off and running. That's well bowled. That is very well bowled. Change of pace. It's 122 for 1. 11 overs completed. The hierarchy of Sri Lanka cricket, Ashley De Silva, played for Sri Lanka, ex-test player, has played one-day cricket, loads of first-class cricket. Now the CEO of Sri Lanka cricket, the president's here as well.
This should be lauded, because I was very apprehensive whether this league is going to happen or not.
Oh, yes, Abbo, yes.
But hats off to everybody.
I think, in fairness, it was a real challenge. Having this league was a real challenge. Those are the projected scores. I mean, considering what you call the new normal and what Sri Lanka went through, I mean, in fairness, everyone should be congratulated. And I particularly need to mention the Minister of Sports. I know that he went out of his way and he just wanted this to happen. I mean, this is in no way trying to just score brownie points, but this is being just honest. I know he went up to even the highest in the land. The health authorities were very interested, and everyone worked along with Sri Lanka cricket and everyone involved to just make this happen, which is excellent.
Well done. A new introduction into the bowling attack. Amila Ponso is at the moment relying on darting the ball into the batsman.
Aponso is considered more a white ball bowler because he brings the ball in with the left hand, with his arm, hits the pad, doesn't really look for too much of spin, but what he's good at is the variations, the quicker one, the change of pace, the lengthy bowl, and also spins the odd one. And this has gone straight over the bowler's head. How far has it gone? Far enough, I think. It is 6. What a great shot by Kusal Mendes.
Timing personified on that occasion. Didn't try to overhit the ball. Just timed it. Wasn't a full flurry of the bat. Just guiding the ball over the head of the bowler. And got a maximum for it.
That's the one he does, the one that comes in with the arm. They'll get a single, not a bad over, 10 runs off it. 132 for 1. Six bowlers used. Udana, the best standout, none for 13. He carries so much of experience in league cricket, plays around the world. He was a marquee player in South Africa. And he's on strike. Quick single here. And that wasn't the greatest of fielding at mid-off. He was a little bit slow off the blocks. Just allowed that extra few milliseconds for Kusal Mendes to get in.
It's the one area of the game that Herschel Gibbs, the coach of this Colombo Kings team, will take note of and try to improve. It's the first match of this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League, so you expect that there will be a few cobwebs, but it's an important part of the game. The out cricket, the fielding, the catching. Yeah, he's taking a note there.
Yep. He will try to instill the standards he had as a field. If he could do that, I think it will just benefit Sri Lanka cricket immensely. Swing and a miss.
It is an important facet of the game. You have to be a good fielding side to be able to make an impact on the oppositions. At times, your bowlers are struggling, and as a fielding side, you have to do something special in the ground to lift the spirits of the bowlers. Can't neglect it anymore. Gone are the days.
Gone are the days. Indeed, indeed. Nicely worked the way down towards backward square leg. Again, we've spoken about little phases in a game. This is an important phase. You could see that Kusal Pereira and Mendes understands that. They're just trying to make sure that they set it up nicely for the launch in the last 4 or 5 overs.
Yeah, experience coming to the fore. And I just want to build on a point that you mentioned. You commended all who've been responsible for the success that we're seeing here. I think the real beneficiaries are the players, not the experienced ones like Kusal Pereira and Kusal Mendes. It's the younger ones. I've seen a lot of 23 and under year olds in this tournament in teams. Gone, taken. Wasn't intended by the batsman. He was looking for more bat on that one to evade the keeper. But what a spectacular catch by Dinesh Chandimal.
That ball was travelling. Zipped off the surface. In the end, it got too big on the batsman. And what a wonderful take behind the stumps. He almost cupped it up, but reacted well to grab that one, to get rid of a danger man. Mendes.
Talk about fielding. Outstanding catch. Mendes goes. Caught Chandimal of Dhoni for 30 each, 134 for 2. A match winner on his day, Ase Lagunratna. I can tell you he's won quite a few games playing the white ball format. In Australia, he was brilliant. Just won games from nowhere. So did he in South Africa as well. And that's his record. 53 matches. His average is 22. Look at that strike rate. It's going at close to 120. He hasn't really played enough because he's been injured. He picked up an injury in a test match against India in Galle. He's on strike. He gets off the mark.
I'm sure he's a work in progress. If you look at his test record, only 6 test matches, averages over 50. So to have a player that plays across format is definitely talent that you want to work with. You spoke about his white ball cricket. This was the reason why he's at the crease. Kusal Mendes being cramped for room, maybe too close to him to play that shot. He'll be disappointed because he got a start. 30 from 24 is what Mendes got with the bat.
1 ball to go in the over. This has been a good one for Dhoni. 3 runs and a wicket. He needs to finish it well. Long off's gone out. So is long on. Deep extra cow out as well. Kusal Pereira goes square. And they'll come back for 2. But this is a brilliant over. 5 runs and a wicket. 135 for 2. Okay. Most fan. Right.
7 overs remaining in the innings. Kusal Pereira, the captain, still there. I spoke about his approach, his risk-free approach to batting. And it's proven to be quite effective in this first match. And he'll want to make a statement for his Kandy Tuskers team.
He's a late developer as an off-spinner. Ashan Priyanjan. Starts off with a short delivery. Captain the under-19 side, has played white ball cricket for Sri Lanka, but he was more a batsman. But he started bowling now, and he's turning out to be very useful because he could come in and bowl a few cheap overs. So that's a decent economy rate under 6 runs an over.
That's brilliant in this format. Anything close to 6.
Just a single again. Just to remind you, the My 11 circle most valuable player of the match. Now we'll try and show you the top 5 fantasy points in the My 11 cycle and just see. Well, we'll come to that in a moment. 3 singles of the first 3 balls. So we'll try and show you the most valuable player, My 11 circle most valuable player at some stage during this innings. But that's another one that's on offer. The My 11 circle most valuable player. Excellent over. Very good over indeed. This is really good stuff. Coming in at this time in the middle, and he's bowled 4 deliveries for just 4 runs.
Balls with a difficult trajectory. The off-spinner, Priyanjan. And he's not afraid to loop the ball. Keeps the batsman guessing. A rare wide delivery from the bowler on that occasion. So far, he has managed to keep these 2 batsmen quiet.
It's outside the off stump. The question is, have the Tuskers just lost the momentum? See, they were going at more than 11 runs an over, and now it's been pulled back. And they're not as free-flowing as what they used to be. A single off the last ball, just 4 runs of that. It's 143 now for 2 and 14 overs completed. All you need to do is download my11circle.com, and these are the top 5 players. Early days, Gubras is right on top. Kusal Pereira is by far second, but don't forget, just the first game. This will hot up as the tournament progresses. So Udana continues.
You made a point in the last over that have they lost the momentum, Kandy Tuskers? I don't think so. They're not greedy. They know they can get to 200 just by playing with measured approach. They're taking the game to the depth of the innings. I think in last 4 overs, you might see the fireworks. They're just setting it up for that, making sure they don't lose many more wickets from here. Just at the moment, playing with a measured approach, and I think that's the right attitude.
Nicely played. Great work. Great work. That was 4. That was 4. Kusal Pereira knows it. He is lucky. Udana can afford to have a smile. That was 4 written all over it.
And you've got to admire Suru Udana, what he's trying to do. He's trying to go for the Yorkers, and you normally see that in the last 5 overs. And it's an area of the game that I'll be looking at from teams across this tournament, how well they execute their Yorkers, their change-ups. Because as you know, Roshan, the last phase of the innings, the last 5 overs, they are crucial overs. If you're a bowling team, if you're a batting team, whichever team executes well, usually take the advantage going into the midway break.
He's on 49, and he's actually played within himself. Still off 34 balls. Now if he reaches this, it will be his 20th T20 50. And at the current rate, it will be over 200, which is still a very decent score. So 3 balls to go in the over, and still just 3 runs off it. And this is a phase I'm sure Colombo Kings will be very pleased with. Short delivery really didn't come on. See, this is what Udana does so well. And what I think, and that's his 50, incidentally, an important one for Kusal Pereira. Just a little bit on Udana. He's developed the slower ball so well. He's pretty judicious with how he uses it.
That's what you have to do as a bowler on a flat track. Rely on the variations. Well, that's a well-crafted innings from the captain.
He was not too excited about it, I'll tell you. There wasn't a great amount of celebration when he reached his 50.
Doesn't it tell you that he wants to eke out more? As a captain, he thinks that his job is not done. He has to make sure that his side gets to 200 runs.
He's making use of a good opportunity to bat on a very good batting surface. I spoke with the curator before the start of this game. He mentioned this surface being dry, very good for batting, very different from what we've seen in the last 70-20 internationals here. We've seen low-scoring affairs. This is high-scoring, definitely so far.
Dre Russ, what are you doing? A single off the last ball. Brilliant over. 149 for 2. 15 overs completed. Well, it's time now for the strategic timeout.
Cricket lova kalamba Vidya yali sarasa Ekuma jaya gamu Lova majaya gamu Sinhanada batura It's the battle of the champions It's the glory of the nation It's a celebration It's a revolution You can feel it everywhere
அடியில சுத்தி இறங்குவோம் பண்டையத்தை நத்தியத்தை நோக்கி ஒன்று ஒன்ன கள்ளத்துல நெருப்பத்தை வீசி வெட்டையாட கட்டுக்குள்ள 11 சிங்க குட்டி வந்துருச்சு பொட்டி போட்டு போடுபட்ட வலையட்டை ஆடு கொண்ட தலை கண்ண கண்டையத தலை கவசம் மட்டும் நண்டு போடுகிற மணினா சிங்க பொழுக சித்து முட்டுக்கு பாடா ஆறா அடிடா நாலா ஒடடா இறங்கி அடிச்சா எவன்டா கேப்பா ஒன்ன தாண்டி போட ஒன்ன தான் செய்வோட ஒன்ன தான் ஆடு ஒன்ன தான் கொடுப்போண்டா சிங்க பொழுக சித்து முட்டுக்கு பாடா
Ekuma jaya gamu Each
T20 win together.
Cricket lova kalamba Pitiya yali sarasa Ekba jaya gamu lova jaya gamu Sinhanada batura It's the battle of the champions It's the glory of the nation It's a celebration It's a revolution
53 off 22 balls. He's the main scorer at the moment. Here he is, disappointed when he got out, as he should have been. He played nicely. Let's look at all the work that he did at the bottom. The boundaries, the big shots in particular. He played some beautiful strokes, a couple of nice ones right out of the middle to the spinners as well down the ground. That was good to see. So happy our time, boys. 5 overs to go. And that's not a bad start. First ball of the last 5 overs goes for 6.
Crystal Janet thinks it's happy hour time as well, and this is the interesting time. Priyanjan, who is the makeshift 6th bowler, you would have thought Ange's probably tempted to go one more, and when you're thinking, should I go one more or not, get your regular bowlers on.
Yeah, first over for 6 runs. That's what's prompted Angelo Matthews to go with Priyanjan. Leg side-ish. Too busy appealing Priyanjan, but I doubt that was going on with the arm. That was missing leg.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bit optimistic.
Matthews did ask the question. Wide of the crease. No, I can't give that out.
No way. It's just gone on with the angle.
Reverse sweep, that's gone for 4. That's beautifully played, superbly controlled. They've got to step on the gas here. First 10 overs, they were going at 11 runs and over. The last 5 after that, they were going at only 8. So they dropped off a little bit. And they've got some work to do to get back to where they were. It's a good start with this shot.
Very good shot, that. And if I remember correctly, Russ, Sailor Gunaratne got some runs, didn't he, for Sri Lanka against Australia in Geelong and played really well.
Come on, Mickey, you can't forget that. That was such a fantastic innings. Won the match for Sri Lanka from nowhere. There were 7 down, with not many. And then he played a peach of an innings, and those 3-4 overs towards the end surprised everyone.
Yeah, my focus then was Pakistan at that time, Russ.
I don't buy that.
Not Australia, not South Africa.
No, they were gone.
Oh, they were gone. That's also optimistic in my book.
That was a lot straighter, but I think there were 2 noises. A lot straighter.
You reckon he nicked it?
Waits till the timer runs down before we see a signal. Yes, he's asked for the review. Just in time, Angelo Matthews.
Yeah, it was right to ask for the review there. He's got nothing to lose. If he can get Kusal Janeth out now, brilliant.
Just the way things have been going. Hazy did mention the first 10 overs, then the 5. We thought they had dropped off and lost their way. But this is a big wicket. Kusal Perera at this stage will certainly save the Colombo Kings about 10 to 15 runs at least. On the front foot, not a lot to go. Oh, it's missed the bat. Now has it straightened, Mickey?
I don't think it's straightened enough. I think that's going on. At best, umpire's call on leg stump.
Yeah, while we wait for that, Mickey, even if you were on the moon, you would have seen Asila Gunaratne's innings and you will remember that.
I did see it and I did remember it, Russ.
It was just a bit of a clue there with Chandimal, the way he was just starting to dart leg side as well. So in my book, that's not out, and I'm with you with at best umpire's call. Doesn't seem to be too much excitement out there from the Kings players. Tuskers perhaps a little bit interested. Farm Patan, nice to see him there, one of the overseas players. There'll be a couple of overseas players on the sidelines at the hotel watching right now, who are a couple of games away from playing. Dale Steyn, Sohail Tanvir, and also Brendan Taylor. They're not too far away from getting a run, so that'll add to the Tuskers. A couple of fine players.
Yeah, and don't forget one of my favourites, Mohamed Amir. He's waiting to go as well.
The ball settled down in. So no edge, so I got that wrong. Thought I heard two noises.
No heartbeat.
Pretty low. Did it straighten?
Not enough, Russ.
Watch where Chandimal goes. He goes down leg side. Well, he doesn't go. He starts to go.
Needed to turn. It goes on with the arm. So it's not even umpire's call.
No.
Only the umpire was right.
No drama. 12 runs from the over so far. 2 balls remaining. Just taking a little bit of momentum, I guess, out of proceedings right now. So they've got to pick it up again.
Oh, wow, Dad!
Tried to ease that one very fine on the offside. Polite ask from the keeper.
And an ask from the umpire as well. Lyndon Hannibals has gone upstairs just to make sure that Asela Gunaratne was holding his ground. Again, the ball going on with the arm. Priyanjan not getting it to turn. That foot in the air for a wee bit. Is that why the umpire thought maybe it was in the air?
Yeah, it does. Just at the back end there, Russ, doesn't it?
We'll have to search and see how long his nails are to determine what happened here.
This might tell us. I think it's down in time. Watch for the shutter. Shutter of the picture. No shutter.
Very close. It's in the air, the foot.
He's got the long spikes on.
We still haven't had the red light. By that time, the foot's down. Not out. Umpire Arnold has said that. Has made his decision.
I must say, that's a hell of a lot closer than I thought it was.
What we are looking for is when the lights come on. Asela Gunaratne. Foot's in the air. Does he get it down on time? Ruchira Palyaguruge upstairs. He's got to make that decision. Third umpire. Well, it's that nail right in front. We can't see it from that angle, though.
How is he going to call this? We don't normally in this situation you see the picture shutter as the stumps are hit by the keeper, but there's obviously I don't see any shadow move with the stump on the far right as well, the picture. So obviously the ground's very tough or very solid, and there's no movement of the stumps.
Here's the stumps could move, but it's when the bails are dislodged. So that's when the lights come on. That's what we're looking at. And if there's doubt, decision goes in favor of Asela Gunaratne. Split screen. See, the stumps have moved, but the lights haven't come on. So the bail is still in place.
I'm going for spikes in the ground. There you go.
I made my decision 10 minutes ago, Hayes.
Well done.
Rusty should be out there, umpiring.
Different ball game when I'm out there. So much easier here.
Why don't they use the bails that light up in all cricket all the time? Wouldn't that make things a lot easier?
Certainly would, and that's a good question, Hayes. I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure why they don't.
No, this has gone on too long now. I think you can't give this out.
If there's too much doubt, it's got to be a not out. So it's the last ball of the 16th over. It's 162 for 2.
Just quietly there, Dinesh Chandimal has been very, very competent and very tidy behind the stumps tonight.
Lyndon Hannibals, he's had lots of actions to execute out there. Not on that occasion.
Umpire Hannibal Lecter doesn't strike.
Umpire Russell Arnold is 100% correct.
And umpire
Michael Hazeman.
Yeah, well done. Thanks, Mickey.
He's on the piggyback. 4 overs to go then. Dushmanta Chamira here. 2 overs for 29. Good pace shown.
He's a bit slow on that.
That's what you want Dushmancha Chamira doing, is trying to bowl his best ball every ball. And I say best ball without frills, without fuss. We don't want to see him doing too many Yorkers. We don't want to see him bowling too many variations. He has pace. Run in and bowl it quick and almost at the top of off stump. And that's something, as I said earlier in commentary stint, David Saker is really getting into our bowlers.
He's working the angles. He's looking to try and take it across the left-hander. The wideish Yorker. The field is an indication of what he's trying to do. Mid-wicket, long on. So that means making it very difficult to hit it backward off square. And you see that wideish third man and deep point.
Yep.
He's got the protection.
Yep. Ideal.
Yeah, it's very well thought out with the wideish third man and the deep point. Really well thought out.
And with that field, even though with a player again like Kusal Perera, you have to be spot on with the length too. And that's that fuller length. Because he's so strong square of the wicket.
There is a sweeper, but he can't get there. That's gone for 4. That is very nicely played. It almost had to be a boundary, that ball.
A mile 11 circle champion shot. The length was good from Chamira, but this man's in great form.
Yeah, and if you want to be harsh, he's probably just given just a fraction too much which has allowed him to hit that one in front of square. I tell you, who's going to be excited by this is Grant Flower. He'll be really happy watching Kusal Pereira hopefully take this innings right to the end.
Don't forget to get your to download that app, My 11 Circle. Down the ground, that's slammed down the ground, and that's gone for 4. That's solid.
Told you the length is crucial. 6 inches short. Kusal Perera so powerful, that shorthand jab. He heard slightly the previous delivery, this one even more, maybe a foot short. Kusal Perera can pick his spot.
Yeah, that's right. And again, he's in. So any discrepancy or error that you make in length, he's going to pounce on. And that is the impact of having a batsman in at the back end of the innings.
Short fine leg comes across to 2 extra covers, so that pepper that offside, but your length also has to be spot on. Yes, you're working the angle, but you cannot give length at this stage of the game. So important.
Extra cover, beats him, goes for 4. It's another fine strike. Beautifully played.
Again, it's the in batsman, isn't it, Russ? A guy that's in will get you home at the back end 9 times out of 10.
It's a champion, Mickey. A champion shot. It's a mile 11 cricket champion shot.
Kusal Janeth is a champion.
The fielder came across, but he's too good. So good, Kusal Perera.
Now, at one stage, they are on target to get somewhere around the 270 mark. If they continue at this rate now, they'll get close to the 210 mark. That gives an indication of what they've dropped off. Of course, they can play exceptionally.
Batting to come, that's Sikuke Prasanna, powerful hitter.
If they play really well, they can get past that 210. Now, that's not a bad shot. That is superb. Over extra cover, there's always value there.
Length on offer. Chamira goes for 18, 180 for 2 after 17.
So 180 for 2. 3 overs to go. And there's 2 dots on top of the buildings. That signifies the boundaries have gone down. So they've got a really a huge opportunity to step on the gas here and get a massive total.
Yeah, Gunratna needs to get Kusal Pereira on strike. Earlier it was the other way around. When Gurbaz was in, Kusal played it smart, built a partnership with Mendes. What a wonderfully paced innings from Pereira. We know of him, hits it hard, but this is another side we're seeing to him.
This is the side we want, Russ. This is what we've been talking about continuously, is get in, cash in, go big, and give your team a match-winning innings. You know, he could hold out at 48 or whatever, not good enough. We want him to go on and get a big score.
Going on means it's not short a ball. We've seen many aspects, the single options, complementing the partner, taking control. There's hardly been a slog. This is the last ball of the last over. Geez, he's strong.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned to you earlier, Russ, while we were just off air, was the only thing with that field is that there was no margin for error because he was bowling to a 6-3. So all they needed to do was the batsman knew he was going to go offside. He was going to try and bowl the Yorker wide of off stump, and that allowed Kusal Janath to free his arms whenever he missed length. And that is Kusal Janath's strength. He was bowling straight into Kusal Janath's strength.
Isrudana preparing to bowl the 18th, coach and vice assistant coach of the Colombo Kings.
Herschel Gibbs now, this is quite interesting. He's been doing a lot of writing. He's got a little pad down there. Ink, he's been doing a bit of writing on his arm as well, I think, by the looks of things.
Yeah, good to see Hirsch out there. And he was doing a bit of writing. I remember how he used to curse me when I used to write. He used to think I was drawing pictures. And it was interesting to see Hirsch have his notepad out.
I'll go and check it. There must be pictures now.
Spent 13 hours in transit with him on the way here. It was fun.
How'd you go, yeah?
Oh, change roles. He was talking one thing, being up here with me, and then suddenly he ditched me.
What about these shots from Pereira? Some solid hits. Really good work. 75 not out, 45 balls, 8 fours and 3 sixes. He really has played superbly. Udana now. Oh, that's up in the air. That should be out. Oh, it's not. Just out of reach.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if that wasn't short fine legs catch. Although I liked Chandy's effort to get to it, but I'm pretty sure just Mancha Chimera could have got there a little bit easier.
Chandimal might have called him off, and after the dive he looked straight up at you. This way.
Just a fingertip.
Yeah, and commentators curse. I was just saying how well he had been keeping.
Well done, Mickey.
Would you write that down as a mistake, Mickey?
For sure. That's a drop catch, that. For sure, that's a drop catch.
Herschel,
and I certainly know Shane McDermott, our fielding coach, wouldn't be happy with that.
So it goes against Chamira or Chandimal?
Slow ball. Smash down the ground on the bounce. Just the single. All about boundaries at this stage. He is saturated, Pereira.
Case Ahmed was brilliant, Hayes. He's still got an over. Has he held him back too long? Has Angelo Matthews missed a trick here? Kusal Pereira, well, we know he's strong, square of the wicket. Look at that. That 6 he pumped in the last over. This is a complete wagon wheel. This is what you call a wheel. Field well set. Now that's the difference between Isrudana and Dushmanta Chamira. The control, the experience, but of course he doesn't have the same pace. But he's got a bit of variation and control.
It looks a bit like Durban, doesn't it, Russ? You were there as well.
Oh, yes. I was not focusing on the wheel. I was focusing on you guys.
Yep,
and your face. Keith Lane, our statistician, was there as well. They were not talking to me.
Sean Pollock was going white.
But that was amazing knock from Kusal Pereira. Go on the test from nowhere. And until the last 15 runs, you just couldn't believe that this was going to happen.
Extraordinary. Oh, bang. That is gone. Fetch that. Terrific shot.
That's what Kusal Pereira can do to you. He can really hurt you at the back end if he's in.
Partnership 55 of 31, but this is poor from Isrudana. He's not going to spare you from that length.
I was just going to say, just before the ball was bowled, Isrudana bowled 3.3 overs, naught for 21. And I still think he's done a great job here he's certainly been the standout, and that's because of his experience.
Nicely bowled, slow delivery. Won't be able to come back for 2.
13 balls in the innings remaining. There's 100 here for Kusal Perera. There certainly is.
So important they keep going now, because obviously the likes of Andre Russell on the other side and also Angelo Matthews makes a terrific pair if they get going.
Highest T20 score for Kusal Janit Perera is 84. Made against Pakistan.
Was that when you were coach of Pakistan?
No, it wasn't, Hazy. No, it wasn't.
Oh, no. Just working through the teams again.
Well, let's put the pressure on him. He was just talking about Durban. He's taking him out there. 2-0. Remember last time. We're not going to settle for anything less, Mickey. Keep that in mind.
That's another boundary. That is terrific. That is right out of the screws. That's what they need, actually. Need a little bit of support at the other end as well to help Pereira. 14 runs off the over, 194 for 2. Seven bowlers used. Madana was really good. Got some tap in that last one, unfortunately, but his numbers up until 3 overs. We're going at just over 6 and over. Star of the show so far has been Kusal Perera, 83 off 48. Patan to come, Pradeep Prasanna. Still some batting in the hut, but there's only 2 overs left.
That's Nuwan Pradeep. He's not going to come in next, is he?
He's definitely not batting there, Nuwan Pradeep.
Bit of juggling.
Manpreet Goni, his 4th over, 1 for 30 for him.
It's going at 8.5 so far. Oh, that's nicely played. Nice and fine, and that's 4. Again, that's a great start to the over.
That's his highest score in 2020 cricket for Kusal Janit Perera. And again, and we've been reiterating it through this time, is a batsman in at the back end. You can add 15 to 20 runs to the back end. He's played it so well tonight.
Well, the Tuskers got a boundary there, but Kusal Perera, he's not going to complain. I thought that came off the pads. Getting closer to that 100. 9 fours, 4 sixes, strike rate 177, and playing the anchor role. You can't ask for anything less. Correction, anything more.
Yeah, I was trying to work that one out, actually.
So you are listening to me?
Yeah, well, just that one bit, yeah.
I was just trying to come back with an answer to your question at the back end there, Russ. Yes, Sri Lanka did win 2-0 the last time. We're going to have a hard tour to South Africa. We're playing at the Wanderers and Centurion, different conditions.
Correct.
But let's hope Kusal Janit brings his A game, because then we're in the game always.
So Goni with the 19, this is his last over. Who's going to be bowling the last? Angelo Matthews has 2. Dushmantha Chamira, he's gone for 47 off 3. Where are you going to go for that last over? I just can't think, why didn't Qais Ahmed bowl his 4th?
Yeah, and you wouldn't have thought that Qais Ahmed would bowl the 20th over.
No chance.
199, so the 200 just around the corner. Another miss for the Colombo Kings is that Andre Russell, he's in the team. You'd think that he's got his shoes mixed up, but I doubt that. He's not bowling. He's here to smack it.
Yeah, he is, and I think if he was here, if he was here to bowl as well, one would think that he'd be playing in Auckland tomorrow for the West Indies against New Zealand.
In T20 here in Hambantota, this is the high score. The previous was 182 for 4. And generally teams batting first, they tend to win. They tend to win most games.
Slower delivery. I think it's okay. There's no real drama as far as the umpires getting involved.
Looks unhappy. He was looking forward to a hit.
He fancied that one, I think, sitting on the sidelines. First 3 balls of this over, first 4 balls of this over have been really good. 5 runs only, 2 balls to go in the over.
Yeah, and he hasn't got Kusal Janat back on strike. Kusal Janat will be looking for that 100.
Actually, it's 4 dot balls. For me, that first ball was off the pads. Can he bowl a maiden?
That's beautifully bowled. Oh, it's got through. And it's going to go for 4. The outfield's pretty quick. He's not happy with that, and I'm not surprised.
200 comes up in the 19th over with the My 11 Circle champion shot, because that was guided, that was intentional. And how perfectly he finds the gap. Amila Oponsu.
That's just sloppy. That's poor cricket. You guys bowling his heart out, and you get a guy dive over the ball. Can't accept that.
Last ball of the 19th over. There's a split of the 50s. Quaked onto the leg side, and that's gone for 4. That's a nice way to finish. So a couple of boundaries to finish. The first 4 balls are terrific. Then 2 boundaries, 207 for 2. Okay, here we go. Last over of the innings. 207 for 2 is a seriously good score. What can I do? The Tuskers, after being invited to bat by Angelo Matthews when he won the toss, which surprised a few of us in these sort of conditions. So Pereira's been terrific. Gunaratne's got 26 off 17.
Mickey, deep point, long off. Long on, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg. Dushmantha Chamira, what's he going to bowl?
He's going straight and full.
Safe, I think. Oh, it's a great catch. That is an outstanding grab. That is beautifully taken.
Ashan Priyanjan had to turn, had to run. He kept running. That's one of the most difficult catches because it's very difficult to judge. He did it beautifully, and they've got Kusal Janit Pereira. He doesn't get 100, but he's done enough damage. They want to have a look at that front foot.
That is a very, very good catch, and that's probably saved them a hell of a lot of runs. If he's kept his front foot behind the star, oh yeah, he's done it easy. David Sake will be happy.
Nowhere near. Ashan Priyanjan was also nowhere near, but he makes good ground. Keeps going, and perfect landing, making sure those elbows don't hit the ground and the ball pop out. Kusal Janit Pereira, well, he's entertained. The Tuskers captain, 87 off 52. It's 207 for 3. Asela Gunaratne on strike. The batsman crossed. Down the ground, hammered. Laurie Evans, no chance because it was hit so well. My 11 Circle champion shot. You got plenty to keep note of.
Yeah, that was a good shot. He's hit that dead straight down the ground. And again, it's just missed his length and he's bowled his variation there.
The adjustment he's not making is the batsmen are sitting deep in their crease. If they were batting on the crease as you normally would, I reckon that length's fine. But the batsmen have made an adjustment. Chamira is not making an adjustment.
No, he didn't. He didn't make the adjustment there and paid the price.
4 balls left in the innings. Oh, that's beautifully bowled. That might be out. I reckon that's hit the pad first.
It was straight, but there's no review. They burnt it a couple of overs ago, the Kings, but that was quick. Perfectly bowled from Dushmantha Chamira.
Let's see if there was a little bat on this.
There was pad and boot.
That is stone dead.
But it's given to the bats. The umpires thought that there was a nick. There were 2 noises. I reckon it was around that ankle where it hit the pad and the boot.
So there's Angelo Matthews. Down the ground. Straight. There is protection. They'd look to come back for the second, I presume. No, they don't. And that's a good decision in the end.
Very well fielded out there by Case Ahmed. He's been a little pocket dynamo in the field tonight.
So he should be at 20 years of age.
Spot on. So he should be. And it's so good to see guys realizing that there's a third discipline in cricket now. Fielding, so important.
2 balls to go. Sikuge Prasanna, he can hit him. Strike rate 161. Look at that, 550s. A best of 76. He's not going to get anywhere near that, but he can up that strike rate, that's for sure.
What are your thoughts about this total, boys? Russ, what do you think?
Thought they should have declared 40 runs ago.
A little bit of movement. That's a My 11 Circle Championship shot. I think we'll just mark that down for one of those.
And that is so unlucky. He's executed there really well. That is really, really unlucky.
Look, he's gone for many, Dushmantha Chamira, but he's bowled a lot better than that. There have been quite a few of these, a few good shots, but that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, I think certainly his second, third and fourth overs have been, I thought his first over was slightly inconsistent, but I do think that he should have opened the bowling, and that is stone dead.
I do think you're right.
Bottom of middle.
Just a little bit leg side, nicely bowled, cramped him for room.
That's the end of the innings. 20 overs, 219 for 3, so 220, that's 11 runs and over. Takes some getting.
So that's a very good total. The toss has been invited to bat. Chanamal is just providing some encouragement as they walk off now. At one stage they were on track for around about the 270 mark, because they got off an absolute flyer. The first 10 overs they were going at 11 and over. It was quite extraordinary the way they got out of the blocks. But there's work to be done by Angelo Matthews and also Andre the Giant.
220. Don't put it past them, because when there's a rustle around, anything can happen.
Runs on the board for me, Russ and Mark. I think they've got enough.
I would think so too. 220, but the fact that there's Andre Russell, you don't put it past him until you've seen the back of him.
And don't underestimate the words of wisdom from Herschel Gibbs there in the dressing room.
Yep, Herschel was up. He was ready to go. He was going a bit of a chat. So there's the Giants. Okay, let's go downstairs now to Darren Ganga.
Ramanullah Gurbaz, well played today, 53 from 22 deliveries. Is that a near perfect start for you in this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League?
Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Yeah, I think so. It's a good start for me. First time so I play here. I'm really happy, but actually I can't enjoy that. I missed the big innings, so I will try to continue that and consistency.
Your last innings, you scored a century in first-class cricket in Afghanistan. That would have obviously helped with your confidence in this first match.
I had a good preparation for the Lanka League as well. So we had the last year tournament there. I make a century. That was a good confidence for me. Now we see the result and here.
219, a huge total posted by your side, but with an opposition team with the likes of Andre Russell, you think you have enough runs on the board?
Of course. 290 a good total for us. FVC, our bowling side is very good. Inshallah, we will try to defend this target well. The other side have a good batsman, but we will try to defend this target.
Thanks for the entertainment with the bat. All the very best.
Thanks.
Played nicely, Gabaz. He's a wicketkeeper batsman, so he'll have the gloves on as well. He was right at the top, 53 off 22. Gunaratne, 33 off 20 at Prasanna, just arrived there, but Pereira was sensational. 87 off 52, 219 for 3. And if you look at the bowlers, well, the star with 3 overs under his belt was Adana. He was outstanding. Then got a bit of tap in his last. But not enough wickets. That's the concern, I think, for the Kings. So that's the situation. That's what they need, the Colombo Kings. Right now, Herschel Gibbs will be having a chat to the guys, giving them some strict instructions, I'm sure. They need 220 runs. And, of course, they got 120 balls, 20 overs. That's what they got to try and get them in perfect conditions here in Hambantota.
Win together.
Screw my face to the beat. I am the dropout, the cop out. They scraped off the street. My people bringing it back to basics, kicking it back to basics.
And now we can sing it too.
You can't just do nothing.
It's the battle of the champions.
No idea what you're
It's the glory of the nation. It's a celebration. It's a revolution. You can feel it everywhere.
Alex.
People want you to be someone that you're not. You're Alex.
Yeah.
to the opening game, and Candy Tuskers was simply outstanding. They were put into bat, 219 for 3, a spanking, sparkling performance. The question is, can the Colombo Kings overhaul it? I got Amir Sohail with me, and thank you for joining us, Amir.
Pleasure.
What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a terrific start to the tournament, isn't it? And the way the openers, they actually dealt with the bowlers, it was with utter contempt and utter disdain. And the start they had, they scored 100 runs in 9 overs. After that, 200 runs were on the card. And for some, there might be a lull period between 12th and 14th over. But I thought they were playing very intelligently. They were setting up for the last few overs to be able to get to 200 runs. And eventually they got to 220. Terrific batting from Candy Tuskers.
Well, I think in case you have missed it, you need to take a look at the highlights, and the batting was outstanding. It was just top drawer stuff, and they just went from ball one.
Yeah, that was the intent, wasn't it? And the pitch was perfect for that. You know, they trusted the wicket, they went after the bowlers, executed some excellent strokes, and Gurbaz especially. He went after the bowlers, provided his team with a blistering start, and whenever Kusal got the opportunity, he got into the act.
You were happy with the way that Kusal Pereira batted because he paced his innings?
Well, the way he batted, it's a message for the youngsters that there is a plenty of room for orthodoxy in this format of the game. If you play with a measured approach, if you take the responsibility and take the game to the depth of the innings, you make sure not only you get runs, but you get your team to a winning total.
Well, it was just outstanding batting. Kusal Pereira, Kusal Mendes, everybody enjoyed, but it was a start that Gurbaz provided. And that's a second wicket. Brilliant catch by the wicketkeeper. Goni using all his experience, jacking it back. Kusal Pereira was simply magnificent. Played some brilliant shots on both sides of the pitch. I thought Isuru Udana was the best in terms of the bowlers.
Yeah, he was. But, you know, when you're looking to bowl at Kusal Pereira, as a bowler, you've got to be at your best. If you're not, he's going to take a big chunk out of you. And that's what he did.
Right, so let's bring you up to date with what happened. 219 for 3. Look at that card. Look at the consistency. Kusal Pereira, 87 of 52. Gurbaz, a brilliant start. Kusal Mendes slightly off colour, I thought. So was Gunaratna. And in the bowling department, Udana has 33 of 4. The rest of the bowlers have struggled a little bit. And Angelo Matthews just mixing it around. Right, the big question is 220 is the target. So it's time now, as play resumes, to go across and join our commentators.
We have outstanding conditions here in Hambantota tonight. It really is beautiful. It's about 23, 24 degrees in the middle. There's no dramas at all. It's a little bit humid. The lights are superb as well. And I'd imagine the Tuskers have got a little bit of a skip in their step right now because they really did bat extremely well after being asked to have a bit of a hit after Angelo Matthews won the toss. Most sides, I'm certain, upon winning the toss, are going to go and decide to have a bat first. Of course, Pereira was the start. He's going to be keeping as well, so he's got his work cut out throughout the day. I've got Russell Lyon and also Darren Ganger alongside me. Russ, what are your thoughts at the halfway mark?
Evening, Hayes. Well, you mentioned the temperature. I'm pretty sure the Tuskers will be feeling it like it's around a mid-15. Yeah, temperature like in the mid-15s, nice and cool. But for the Colombo Kings, it'll feel like it's in the high 30s because they got their work cut out. They got to go at 11. 220 is their target. Hayes, no doubt about it. Runs on the board.
Yep.
Is key.
It's a big target. Really is a big target. And they've got a very good lineup. Colombo Kings, they will rely heavily on the likes of Angelo Matthews and also Andre Russell.
Yeah, but these two have a role to play. It's Dinesh Chandimal at the top of the order. He's been in great form. His batting style, his aggression, he's back. Like when it was when he first burst onto the scene, instinctive. And Laurie Evans, a lot of experience in England. Strikes it well.
Darren, what are your thoughts?
Well, Hainsey, they can learn a thing or two from the way the Kandy Tuskers batted. Their power play overs produced a run rate of just about 13, so that was a very good start to the innings. And the last 5 produced around 70 runs. So, again, not losing a lot of wickets, having wickets in hand, and striking powerfully at the right time in the T20 innings.
So Chandimal, he's someone who can play a really important hand throughout this tournament for the Kings. He's a fine player, as Russell mentioned when he burst on the scene. He was outstanding. Laurie Evans did very well in the Vitality Bash.
Nuwan Pradeep, you'd say one of Sri Lanka's better T20 bowlers. Picks up wickets. Sri Lanka tend to use him in the white ball format. He's got a slip as well. Very little chance that ball's going to swing, maybe even for 2-3 balls. That's what we've seen so far.
If they're lucky. Right, here we go. Be interesting to see how they start chasing this big total. Pradeep. A little bit leg side, so that's easy just to get something on it and run away for a boundary first up.
Leg by signal, starting with a straight line, trying to bring all the mode of dismissals into play, and that is something that you would expect from fast bowlers. The more wickets you can take in the power play overs, the more control you have with the innings of the opposition.
It's not a lot of swing that Nuwan Pradeep usually gets. He's good at hitting the seam on the deck. Seam movement.
Like that. That's done a little bit. Nice and fine. And that's gone for 4. There is a third man in position, but he was a little bit wide. Sped away very quickly.
Yeah, that flew. Chandimal had a bit of a poke because he got defeated. And when it moves off the seam, it's harder for the batsman. He'll breathe easy. It's always nice to get off the mark. They're off to 8 off 2. They're off to a flyer. Geez, the run chase is on.
Try and make the most of this newer hard ball with a proud seam when you can. That's sliding leg side, I think. And so does the man in black.
One thing I'd like to point out about this Colombo Kings team, which is very different from what we saw with the Kandy Tuskers. 2 right-handers at the top of the innings, and their batting order has a right-handedness towards it that could prove to be a disadvantage. It allows bowlers to settle, to focus on the lengths that they want to bowl and the lines as well. Less pressure for the bowlers. We saw how well the left-hand, right-hand combination worked for the Kandy Tuskers. The captain, Kusal Pereira. Gurbaz.
How well he controlled the innings. Kusal Pereira is a goer, we know that. But he held back because Gurbaz was on a roll. That's what you really need to. It's not all about going after the bowling. They're after this. Go after the bowling, you do it well. You're after this. The My Circle, My 11 Circle, Lanka Premier League Trophy.
Early call of 1. 9 off the overs so far, 1 ball remaining.
Plenty of keeping options for the Tuskers, Hayes. He's batted almost 20 overs, Kusal Pereira.
Yeah, I thought the younger boy from Afghanistan, Gurbaz, might have been the man who picked up the gloves as the keeper, but no, it's the skipper.
Mendes
Pereira.
can keep too.
363 runs at 153 strike rate for Surrey in the Vitality Bash for Laurie Evans. That kept a little bit low. Good way to finish. First over gone, 9 for none.
This one after this
We'll be fighting for that. One over gone, 9 for no loss. What a beautiful sight. Afam Pathan. Now, he hasn't played competitive cricket for a long time. We had a nice interview with him before the start of play today. And as an overseas pro, you can tell that he's going to be superb in that change room, helping the youngsters, helping the captain as well. He's got a job to do, or he might be helping the coach from time to time, as Herschel Gibbs. Of course, he's the coach of the Kings.
That means he can't come out to bat.
A little bit of swing.
Always been his strength, the movement through the air for Irfan Pathan.
Yeah. Here it is, Russ. Here's a look at that ball bending back in towards the batsman.
The strength of any left-armer. That angle across forces the batsman to shape, to go offside. And then generally, when it straightens, more often than not, you're in trouble.
That's high. It should be caught. Oh, it's not. Dua, not a fair. Correction, no, it's not.
Naveenul Haq.
I'm getting my teams organised tomorrow.
The other Afghan player in the Tuskers. Well, he got underneath that. He did really well. To the shot early, Chandimal, that bottom hand coming off. Should have been caught. You called it right.
Previous to this delivery, I wanted to mention the fact that Irfan Pathan, his pace is quite slow, under 120. And usually as an opening batsman, you expect a little more pace on the ball so you can't lose your shape. You can reach for the ball, as we saw on that occasion.
That's well run. Quick single. Out of the blocks, both batsmen very quickly indeed. Gee, that should have been swallowed. Duan Olivier would have caught it.
What made you think of Olivier? Tamika Prasad, when in peak fitness, was great to have for the Sri Lankans. Another one of those who would hit the seam well. Aggressive, in-your-face type of player.
I remember being quite excited about him. I saw him a couple of times in South Africa. He bowled very well indeed. Evans on strike now. Some more movement from Irfan Pathan.
Had a chance to talk to Laurie Evans before the start of this match. Had a move in county cricket from Sussex to Surrey. Would have seen him also at the CPL in 2019 when he played for the St Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Quite an accumulator of runs, very organised. Strike rate quite good for a top order batsman. And a century already to his name.
Has also played in these conditions. He's featured in the BPL. That's the Bangladesh Premier League.
I think the PSL.
The subcontinent conditions very much different, so you have to be wary when you're assessing players and comparing their achievements. So he's got that experience.
Also, he mentioned, which I found was quite material, the fact that he hasn't played competitive cricket for 2 months. So little time out in the middle. It'll be interesting to see how he goes with the bat.
Good work so far from Pathan.
2 months is not a long time these days. Some of these boys been out for 9 months. 2 overs gone, it's 15 for no loss.
Two overs gone, 15 for none. It's a big total they're chasing. The Tuskers got to that 219 for 3. Just losing 3 wickets helped them enormously. Really good work from Kusal Pereira, the captain. Also doing the keeping role at the moment. Aveen now. Nicely played, straight, and that's gone for 4. Enough connection there to get a boundary first ball.
Yeah, Laurie Evans needed something, needed to get a move on. Not a lot of timing in it, but it's kid off the outfield. 1 over to Nuwan Pradeep. Naveen-ul Haq into the attack. No swing, no movement. Good batting conditions, so you can hit through the line, and that's what Evans does.
That's a My 11 Circle Championship shot, that's for sure.
Fielders everywhere. Third man in the circle. Long on goes off. There's a deep square leg.
That sort of shot straight away puts the pressure right back on the bowler. Full of the joys of life, but of bouncing the step before that first ball was bowled. Now he's probably thinking about a couple of different things. Slides that one leg side. He's going to have to repeat.
I'm always curious to see what teams do when they bowl first, especially the fast bowlers in the power play overs. If you look at what Colombo Kings team has achieved, they were all over in terms of their lengths. What that says to me is the batting was quite good by the Kandy Tuskers, their captain Kusal Pereira, Gurbaz, and they weren't able to get wickets. If it's one thing, I would say, in terms of the line, was quite wide, not wicket to wicket. So it's something that this Kandy Tuskers team could probably learn from and apply in these power play overs.
Opportunity, just chipped that onto the onside, and he was off, but Chandimal going nowhere, direct hit, and Laurie Evans could have kept running.
I love the way Pereira finished up, just on a good length right there.
And also, you need to crease your bat better, Laurie Evans. He just plonked it past the crease rather than sliding it in.
Couple of dot balls. They are worth gold, those dot balls in this format these days. The players have worked things out so well.
So again, just to finish that point, they tried the different lengths. The Colombo Kings with their fast bowlers in the power play overs. But the Kandy Tuskers, they were able to score at a very good strike rate of all lengths. And that's why I feel sometimes as fast bowlers, you can use the cross seam deliveries to get a little extra bounce, especially on a good batting surface, to create pressure, create something different to take an advantage.
Oh, he's clubbed that. That's gone for 6. That is a beautiful shot.
That's the first one of the innings. They need many more. Length delivery. He was always going there, down on one knee. Not many decisions to make for the Kings because that required rate well above 11, and it'll rise rapidly if those dots build. Got to have a swing.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to go at the total that's required, the runs per over required, almost from the word go. If you don't do that, you can suddenly get caught up in the middle and be well behind the situation. Single.
79 for 1 is what Kandy Tuskers achieved. And that's because of their good batting.
Some good efforts. Chandimal. Splendid catch to get rid of Kusal Mendes, but there was no getting rid of Kusal Pereira, who was obviously getting rid of the ball in all directions.
Gee, he was superb. Kusal Pereira, absolutely superb. He was drenched then, he's still drenched. He's been doing some work behind the stumps with the gloves on too.
12 off the over. Last ball for Naveen-ul Haq, feeling the heat a little bit. Hopefully that mishap in the field is not on his mind. That's the key in T20 cricket. Nothing goes to plan. Rarely does it go to plan, and you have to forget it and keep moving and keep pegging.
Cross seam delivery. Exactly what Mickey Arthur was talking about. Oh, it's gone. It's gone for a boundary. So that is a unforced error. That won't impress the bowler at all. So 16 runs off the over, 31 for none. So they're going quite nice at the moment. It's just over 10 to the over. Patan. That's clubbed away straight to long on. Just going to be the single.
How well did Nuwan Pradeep do here? Got the dive out. But then he threw the ball in the wrong direction.
I don't think that was intentional. On the roll, it just popped out.
Well, knowing Nuwan Pradeep, that was brilliant from him, getting the dive out.
Oh, that's terrific. Advancing, and that's gone for 6. That is an outstanding cricket shot. Extremely well played.
Just underscores the good nature of this pitch for batting, as we did see when Candy Tuskers batted. And here again, you can hit through the line, you can trust the bounce, the pace consistent.
And you mentioned that Irfan Pathan is bowling at a slower pace. And hence, the opportunity to go down the wicket and create that extra pace rather than waiting for it. Keeper comes up to the wicket to stop him, to keep him in his crease. Quick reaction from Pereira the moment he saw Chandimal looking to go down the wicket.
Reaching out of the middle again, and that's gone for 4. I'm liking the fact that Chandimal's playing these shots.
And if you give it like that, everyone's a champion. Chandimal comes up with a My 11 cricket champion shot, just carving it over the offside. The angle, able to, allowing Chandimal to free his arms. Now Pathan's lost his swing. That happens very early. Then he's got a problem at this pace.
Strike rate now of 192 for Chandimal. He's cracked that away for 4 as well. That's another My 11 circle champion shot.
Wow, that's pure class. Chandimal getting an early chance, making use of it. Consecutive boundaries for him. Again, I'd like to hear the local man, Russell. There's a little bit of dew out there. That might pose a challenge for the bowlers.
But looking at that last ball, Darren, that was a real good shot because he threw his front leg towards the leg side. There wasn't a lot of width. Just outside off stump, he was able to create that space.
Full toss, 4 runs. That's another one. That's the third 4 in a row. And before that, there was also a 6.
And that's a 50. In 3.5 balls. Now, if this is a comparison, Hayes, the Candy Tuskers scored their 50 in 3.5 overs as well. So it's neck and neck at the moment.
Good numbers, Russ. Good numbers.
Loud groan from Irfan Pathan.
Sound like someone hadn't played cricket for a long time.
It was a full toss. I'm waiting for Russell Arnold to talk to me a little bit about the conditions here. Maybe dew posing a factor.
I think he's in trouble here. He's done a hamstring.
But that's nothing to do with the dew. It's a little bit of a tight hamstring for Irfan Pathan.
I think he's going off. Hamstring, I think. That's not great news.
Irfan Pathan, it's not been a great over. 6 down the ground. And that was the groan we heard. Now if you put everything together, Hayes, that's certainly not a good sign for Pathan.
Oh, the Tuskers. That's a very bad sign for the Tuskers. 27th of Feb 2019 was the last time he played a competitive game. He's had a couple of outings in the nets. He's put some hard yards in, but unfortunately for him, I think that hamstring is.
Let's have a listen.
Head.
This is the delivery. Let's have a listen. He felt it.
You don't yell like that if you haven't done it quite badly.
And it was also before the shot was played.
We fell for him, that's for sure.
Kusal Mendes completes the over. 50 for no loss after 4.
That's the situation at the moment. I just want to correct you a little bit there, Russ. You said 50 for no loss at the end of it over. Unfortunately for the Tuskers, it's 50 for the loss of Patan.
I'm not going to argue with you, Hayes. Another change in the bowling. 1 over to Naveen ul Haq, who went for 16.
This is the sort of thing that gets the captain's mind spinning when he loses a bowler, a key bowler, someone he was going to rely on to. And he probably wasn't going to come back and bowl to death. He was probably going to finish maybe most of his overs, perhaps one in the middle, 3 at the top and 1 in the middle. But he's off the park now, and that hamstring didn't sound good, the way he opted. Suddenly, Pereira's got to go to plan B with someone.
Kavishka Anjula is the new bowler.
Now, we've also got the Cycle Incense Fair Play Award, and this is the points criteria. Upholding spirit of the game is 40 points. Respect towards the opposition team is 20 points. Respect towards the laws and rules of cricket, 20 points. And respect towards the umpires and officials, also 20 points. So that is awarded every game as we go along. So that's a nice little award for one of the teams to pick up at the end of the next 15 days.
That's Chandimal. He was having a party. Down the ground, off the back foot. And his shots got getting better and better. He looked like he was relaxing with the runs flowing. That's when Irfan Pathan did some damage to his hamstring.
Chandimal wasn't hamstrung at all. Was there a bit of glove there, perhaps? No, I don't think so. Wide.
You'd think he'd missed out. That was sitting up. Outside leg stump for Chandimal to put away. Kavishka Anjula. Young seamer. Looks a little brisk. 3 for 14, a best. Not bad of an economy rate for T20 cricket.
Very good.
In the mid 130s. So looks slippery.
Yeah, it's all whippy at the end, isn't it? It all comes together pretty quickly. You were talking about that cross seam delivery, and I'm right. I mean, I agree with you. Sorry, I'm right. I agree with what you're saying. I'm also right most of the time. But I was just thinking, I mean, the king of cross seam deliveries is sitting in the hotel watching this, and that's Dale Steyn. He does that a lot, so he'll be able to pass a lot of information onto this team as well with regards to how to use those cross seam deliveries. Bit of an inside edge.
And it's the type of variations that bowlers go to when they get a good batting surface. You tend to change your pace as well, your lengths. So you've got to use those subtle variations to your advantage. And you've got 2 batsmen who are on the go. They've got a big total, so they've got the license to play with that freedom.
Just the one, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. This is a good over so far.
Yeah, fantastic start. 4 runs off it. 3 credited to Anjula. Now, he's very important, this last delivery. Because he's pulled it back. You've got to make sure that you finish strong. That's what makes the difference.
Chandimal will be looking for a boundary the way he's playing at the moment. And looks like he might have got one. Yeah, that's a terrific shot. That is a My 11 Circle Championship shot. Really nicely played by Chandimal. 5 overs gone, 58 for none.
Well, those are the two worms. The white worm virtually hugging that yellow worm. It's a good start. 58 for no loss of 5 overs. I got Amir Sohail. I got Mickey Arthur. So happy to have you both. And particularly, I want to pick on your brain, Mickey, because we see so much of talent here. We see different things happening. Asela Gunratna coming on, renowned for his all-round skills. Chandimal, in fact, that launched into it, and that's gone the distance. This is a brilliant start.
It's a really good start here from Colombo Kings. Dinesh Chandimal has been amazing, and Laurie Evans just joining the party. The one thing with Candy Tuskers was obviously without Dale Steyn in their lineup tonight and losing Irfan Pathan, they are a couple of bowlers short, I think.
Another short one. How far has that gone? Straight down the fielder's throat. So Asela Gunaratne has done the trick. Not the greatest delivery, but it doesn't matter. You need wickets. He's done that.
Well, Candy Tuskers, they can breathe, because these two batsmen were looking so dangerous. And they were relentlessly before this happened.
Yeah, and Laurie Evans will be kicking himself for that. He could have hit that ball anywhere on the ground, and it's picked out deep mid-wicket. Not so sure he should be giving him a send-off after bowling him a gentle long hop.
Well, doesn't matter. He's got his wicket. Evans goes for 22. It's 64 for 1. So Chandimal on strike. They crossed on that. And Gunaratne, he can be a very annoying kind of bowler. He runs in, bowls those dibbly-dobblies as they call it. The ball really doesn't arrive. Makes it really difficult unless it's in that zone, the hitting zone of the batsman.
Yeah, it does. And on a slow wicket, he can go wicket to wicket. And he'll be quite tough to get away. As he is there, very tough to get away. He's got no pace to work with. Just going back to that dismissal, it was a long hop, and Laurie Evans could have hit it anywhere on the ground.
Well, we see that happening all the time, isn't it? It's not always good balls that get you wickets. T20 cricket can be outstanding fielding. We've spoken about it. Some very ordinary delivery.
Well, that must have made Colombo Kings bowler wondering. That's in the air as well. Not carrying to the fielder.
It's been a very good over, isn't it? 6 off the first ball, then a wicket, and look at what happens. Look at the return. Dot, a single.
Yeah, and that's what taking a wicket does. It just causes a little bit of circumspection, and suddenly the momentum changes slightly. And to be fair, Asela Gunaratne he's gone wicket to wicket. He's taken pace off the ball, and he's been quite hard to hit.
Yeah, he hasn't been predictable. That's the key. When you're bowling as a bowler in this format, you keep on variating with this pace. Keep on surprising the batsmen. Keep them guessing.
Last delivery, straight to the man at point. It's a very good over, 65 for 1. Well, at the corresponding stage, Candy was 79 for 1, the Tuskers. Colombo lagging 65 for 1, so it's a 14-run difference. That's quite a bit in the first 6 overs.
Yeah, and just to go back though, this was where Kusal Mendes and Kusal Janath batted, and they just slowed down just a little bit, so they can certainly try and make it up in this phase. And you've got Dre Russ and Angelo Matthews still to come.
Here's some breathing space now. This is it behind point. That's a boundary. That is a boundary. Dinesh Chandimal is in magnificent form, short and wide, and that was a mile 11 circle champion shot.
Yeah, it screamed excellence, didn't it? They are maneuvering the length on that occasion. It was slightly short. He just stayed on the leg stump, waited for the ball, and then guided it into the gap. Brilliant batting.
Well, Chandimal, he's really put his hand up here. Short delivery, he's got it fine. Over the keeper's head. That's another boundary. Back-to-back boundaries. Chandimal's on fire. Mickey.
Chandimal's playing very well, and he has played very well for a long period of time. Certainly since I've been in Colombo, Dinesh has worked incredibly hard on his game, and he's reaping the rewards now. I think he's going to have certainly a really good next year.
Question. I know that you have plans when it comes to the T20 setup. How much of pressure is he causing now to your plans? We'll come to that. Driven, this time straight to the man. He'll be disappointed. That's a full toss.
Yeah, that is a full toss. And to come back to your point there, Rashan, I just love seeing the players that we're working with, the players that are in our greatest squad, performing and taking the responsibility to play match-winning innings. And that's the only thing that concerns me is, are they playing an innings that's going to win the game for their side? Is it world class? Is it international class? That's what I'm looking at.
It reflected when Kusal was batting. I think you had a long chat with him, didn't you, Mickey?
Yes, Kushal Janath was very, very good.
This is what happened in the power play. Chandimal was lucky, given a reprieve, but he hasn't looked back. Evans was brilliant. They complemented each other. Dinesh Chandimal was in a different zone. And Evans started off with a 6 of Gunaratna, and he'll regret it. He spoke about it. And as Amir said, the Tuskers would breathe now.
Yeah, the reason why, for me, why Chandimal looks a different player. When you saw him playing in test matches or ODI cricket, he's a sort of a batsman who likes to get behind the line of the ball. But now he has realized to be able to meet success in this format, he has to learn to play staying inside the line of the delivery or moving outside the line of the delivery. Now he's doing it well. He looks a different player.
Now, Tikshila De Silva, he's played for Sri Lanka. He's got a strike rate of close to 160. Chandimal, by comparison, he's striking at around 118. So this guy can be very explosive. And he also bowls medium pace.
I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I haven't seen a lot of Tikshila. So, looking forward to seeing him play. But just going back to Chandimal, he's allowing himself to free his arms. And that's really good. And that is an unbelievable cricket shot.
That is truly a mile 11 cycle champion shot. So beautifully driven. It is 7 overs gone. 77 for 1.
Not have an exaggerated stride in the commentary, otherwise
Just to remind you, well, he seemed to be enjoying a Red Bull.
Hirsch loves his Red Bull. He's just normally got a vodka in it.
You think he's going to have wings now, Mickey? He's already flown in. Is he going to fly out? Wings.
Hirsch is going to be so good for Colombo Kings because he's got a very good cricket brain.
Ball.
Just very quickly, if you want to play fantasy cricket and play with real champions, time you download the www.my11circle.com app. So just make sure that you download it, play with champions, and just enjoy yourself fantasy cricket. Chandimal on 47, brilliant strike rate, 180 of just 26 balls, 8 fours, 1 6. It's been a spirited, magnificent reply by Colombo. And as you said, they got real firepower to come. Dre Russ, they got Angelo Matthews, so some really big hitters. So it's going to be a close finish.
Ball.
So he just mixes it up, Asel Gunratna. He just pulls a lot of slower deliveries and just keeps mixing it up. Takes a lot of pace off the ball.
You know, often you see when teams are asked to chase more than 200 runs, you see the innings going to tatters by losing too many wickets, trying too many things out there in the middle under pressure. But look at the way Chandimal is handling things without taking too many risks, and he's doing it nicely. They're keeping abreast with the run rate, putting pressure on the opposition.
Impressed, Mr. Coach?
Very impressed, and it all goes well. I know it's a different format, but we go to South Africa soon.
So he's selected, even for T20 format.
He's in the test squad.
By the way, are you a selector?
You're not committing.
Are you a selector?
I sit on the selection panel, yes. Mr. Santa Demel is.
Don't be
the main
evasive.
man.
Don't be evasive. Just a straight question, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So we got a selector sitting here, Amir. So we can ask him all that.
We can put pressure on him. Now this guy should be selected. Come on, wake up, Mickey. Do it.
Through extra cover.
Oh, beautiful. Bisecting those two fielders at long on and extra cover. That's his 1950 in T20 format. And a very good time to get it.
Yeah, that's a wonderful innings. And I think the key for his innings was it's all been cricket shots. We haven't seen any slugs. He hasn't tried to hit the ball too hard, apart from the one he got dropped with. And other than that, he's just played good quality, crisp cricket shots. Really good innings so far. But now he's got to go all the way.
Straight past the bowler. And has it gone all the way? Yes, I think it has. Well, it's great timing by Chandimal. For a moment, I thought that the fieldsman just managed to get his body behind it, not to be back-to-back boundaries. That he missed out. Looked to bowl the leg spin or back of the hand.
And the way he hit the ball into the gap, Chandimal, it tells you the game awareness of that man. He could have hit it through extra cover or mid-wicket, but he thought that playing straight to the bowler is the right option. And he was rewarded.
So 12 runs off the over. It is 89 for 1. Well, the good thing is that Colombo has got it under the required rate. They needed 11 runs and over. They're slightly under that requirement, 10.92. Still very tight, but they got 9 wickets standing. Naminul Haq. Now the question to both of you is that we've seen T20 cricket, there's so much of innovation, so much of manufactured shots. But this is different. You see a player with, proper cricket shots prospering.
Well, I think Mickey has answered it. Before the game, top of the show, he said, I'm trying to instill a culture in the Sri Lankan side.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't? Okay. So, I'm sorry about that. But
That's all right.
I'm letting you in on that. And then he said, after getting 30s, you have to carry the responsibility. Get your team over the line or make sure that your team gets to a winning total, fighting total. That's the job of a batsman. If you can't play 20 overs as a batsman, what's the point of you being in the side? And I always thought batting is all about maneuvering the length, using the angles created by the bowlers. And if you as a batsman do the diligence, and diligence, mother of good luck. So if you do the diligence and you know what are your options, you'll meet success.
No, I agree. See, my point is, you touched on it, but 58 of 31 balls, 10 fours and 1 6, and all proper cricket shots. See, that's the point I just want to bring in.
Just to take that point just a little bit further, I think what you often see is batsmen, particularly in 2020 cricket, they get a little bit of a panic on, so they feel they've got to score and score and score. So what they do is they try and overhit the ball. They end up losing their shape. They end up losing all the power. So I rather see proper cricket shots. You beat the field, particularly when the field's up. You drive, you cut, you pull, you do whatever you need to do. But those are still the best way to score. And then if you're not hitting the boundary, by playing proper cricket shots, you're getting the 1 or 2 as well, instead of trying to overhit the ball too much.
It's all about eliminating that risk, isn't it? And I always believe those ram strokes and, reverse sweeps and all that, they come into being. You, as a batsman, should only employ once you're not able to maneuver the length. You're not able to find the gaps, then you resort to those strokes. Otherwise, you don't have to do it.
See, the point is, that's a look at where Chandimal's got his runs, but just look how straight he's gone. He's gone through mid-off, and he's got runs right around the pitch. But the point is, the hallmark shots are the shots you're talking about. The rams, the reverse. But you don't see many batting like this. So that's why I think it's been an outstanding knock. More runs here. Only a single.
It has been a great knock so far. Now we want to see him go. And this is, as I said at the top of the show, this is the roll your sleeves up and really get stuck in and work. The field's back. There's big holes. You've got to find those holes. You've got to keep running. You've got to be scoring off every ball. But you can't be trying to overhit the ball, because then what happens is dot, dot, dot. And after 2 or 3 dots, what inevitably happens is you get out because you panic.
And if you play like Chandimal in your side, you have to have a strong hitter who could actually complement Chandimal in this situation of the game, where you need a couple of big hits to put more pressure on the opposition.
Well, Thikshiral De Silva carries that reputation. He has this strike rate of 157. Now it's time for the strategic timeout with the Kings, Colombo Kings, on 95 for 1 at the end of 9 overs.
Cricket lova kalamba, pitiya yali sarasa. Ekba jaya gamu, lova jaya gamu, sinhanada batura. It's the battle of the champions. It's the glory of the nation. It's a celebration. It's a revolution. You can feel it everywhere.
அடியில சுத்தி இறங்குவோம் பண்டையத்தை நத்தியத்தை நோக்கி ஒன்று ஒன்ன கள்ளத்துல நெருப்பத்தை வீசி வெட்டையாட கட்டுக்குள்ள 11 சிங்கக்குட்டி வந்துருச்சு ஓட்டி போட்டு போடுபட்ட பண்டையத்தை ஆடு பண்ண தலை கண்ண கண்டையத்தை தலைக்க வந்த மட்டும் தாண்டு நட்டி போடுகிற மாதிரி சிங்க பொண்ணுங்க சிட்டு முட்டிக்கு பாண்டா ஆத்தா அடித்தா
2020. Win together.
Cricket Lova Kalamba Pitia Yali Sarasa Ek Bajaya Gamu Lova Bajaya Gamu Singhanada Batura. It's the battle of the champions. It's the glory of the nation. It's a celebration. It's a revolution. You can feel it everywhere.
அடிக்கிற அடியில சுத்தி இறங்குவோம் பண்டையத்தை நத்தியத்தை நோக்கி ஒன்று ஒன்ன கள்ளத்துல நெருப்பத்தை வீசி வெட்டையாட கட்டுக்குள்ள 11 சிங்கக்குட்டி வந்துருச்சு போட்டி போட்டு போடுபட்ட வளையட்டை ஆடு கொண்ட தலை கண்ணம் கிடையாது தலை கவசம் மட்டும் தான் மட்டும் நட்டு போடுகிற வழினா சிங்கு பொழுது சித்து முட்டுக்கு வாடா ஆறா அடிடா நாலா உடடா இறங்கி அடிச்சா எவன்டா
And obviously Dale Steyn coming back will rectify that a little bit for them. But having lost Irfan Pathan tonight as well is not a good sign for them. Kaminda Mendes coming on, but he's an exciting cricketer.
Yeah, ambidextrous. Have you seen him? Ambidextrous, bowls off spin. And this time, that's gone for 4. So that's a good start to the over. Tixila de Silva getting that wide, and that was a mile 11 circle champion shot.
Yeah, footwork made it. He exposed all 3 stumps to be able to hit the ball in the air and into the gap. Boundary of the first delivery, pressure on the bowler.
Always good to bowl. Always good to bowl off spin to the left-hander. Come to that.
Ball.
So that's 100 in the 10th over. But you reckon with ambidextrous, he also got the option of coming on and trying his left arm spin.
Yeah, I made the point earlier, and it's certainly something I've spoken to Kaminda
You're making
about.
all the points when we are not around.
That Kaminda Mendes can. He bowls off spin as his number 1, and he can bowl left arm as well. But, I don't want him to be a jack of all trades, master of none. I want him to become... There he is, just bowled left arm round to the right-hander. What we want him to become is international class in one of those.
So what are you saying? You're saying that if he becomes international class, say as an off spinner, but he's bringing in so much options with his ambidextrous, you think he should give up the other one?
No, I'm not saying give it up, but he's got to be picked as an international player in one of them. So his off spin has to be international class. You can't not be international class bowling off spin and not be international class bowling left arm round.
What about his batting? He also brings batting into the equation.
He can bat and he can field. So he's a very, very good package. Still very young, very exciting. But I hope you got my point around. You want him to be international class in one of the...
Quickly, I need to ask you guys a question.
I think it's all about control. As long as he's bowling with control and not bowling those deliveries, he's fine. He can be a luxury for a captain on a turning track. To the right-handed batsman, left arm spin, to the left-handed batsman, off spinners. He can be a luxury, but he needs to have that control.
Well, another look at that rather poor delivery, but how much of a challenge is it to just keep mixing it up? Because you never settled in.
No, and when you go down to nets, do you bowl 50% of your balls off spin, do you bowl 50% balls left arm round? You've got, like as I said, you can't be a jack of all trades, master of none. Be world class in one.
Well, he's gone for 12 runs in the over. It's 107 for 1. And we've just completed 10 overs in the Colombo Kings innings.
Comparison with the run chase, Colombo Kings, 107 for 1, looking quite good. Required rate 11.3. Dinesh Chandimal well set on 66. Kusal Pereira will be searching for a wicket now. Chandimal got dropped in the 5th over, and they're paying a heavy price for it. Sohail?
Yeah, definitely he is. Batting with responsibility, Chandimal executed some fantastic strokes. In the air, a dropped. This is not the first time we saw the fielder coughing up a chance. A second time, and I think it's the same fielder.
It's Naveen ul Haq, the Afghanistan player. I spoke about that chance being given to Chandimal. It was in the 2nd over when Chandimal was on 5. That's a really good effort. But it's the fall that has affected him.
I think he wasn't able to time his jump perfectly. A ball hitting the bony part of palm, and that's why he wasn't able to grab it. Yeah, the Colombo Kings can breathe. This partnership is looking quite dangerous, and a wicket here could have made Candy's Tuskers once again favourite to win this one.
Look quite painful, as they usually are. Bang on the head with an effort on the field. Not a nice experience for any cricketer. Kusal Pereira played a nice hand of 87 off just 52. Sohail, what you liked about that innings?
His attitude. You know, when I saw him earlier on, his innings, it was all about hitting the ball towards the boundary line. But this time around, he took the responsibility, made sure that he played chunk of overs which were available, executed some great strokes. He's a kind of a batsman, he can take on any bowler, even at their best. A highly talented and skillful player.
Go short. Wasn't high enough, but he was rushed. Luckily missed time. There is a fielder in that deep backward square region.
Yeah, pelting the batsman with a short pitch delivery, employing his experience in this difficult situation for his side. Bowling with clear thinking, looking to pick up a wicket here for his side. That'll be a bonus. That'll be a relief for Candy Tuskers.
Really nice shot. That's classy. Goes all the way for 6. 50 partnership comes up and Chandimal roars.
Talk about timing. It was personified. Talk about playing risk-free cricket. He showed us how to do that. Didn't try to overhit the ball. Just guided the ball for a maximum result. A pressure off which was created by Pradeep earlier on in this over. From first 4 deliveries, only 4 runs were scored. On driven. Pushing for 2. And there wasn't the second. Single 20 over. It's 118 for 1.
Another very good partnership for Colombo Kings. Exactly what you need when you're chasing a total in excess of 200.
Our captain has gone on a punt. He's looking to buy a wicket.
Ball.
Let's go down and join Mike Hazeman.
Herschel, Colombo Kings coach. Thank you for joining me. What are your thoughts at the moment? 118 for 1. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, exciting. I've still got Angela Matthews, Dre Russell still to come. A lot of experience. So it's a good deck as well. So not too perturbed. Backing them. I'm very happy with that. With my top 5, top 6. So quietly confident at this stage.
So it's a big total you were chasing, and still are chasing, of course. What did you say to your charges at the halfway mark?
Yeah, someone needs to be a hero. If we can get us, someone can get us at 80 or 90. Hopefully, Dinesh, can do so. I mean, he's looking like he can do that for us. It's a team game. It helps obviously with the midfield as well, which is great. But not to panic. There's a lot of experience, and that's what I like about our top 6. So, I said, just stay calm. As long as we've got partnerships, it's a good wicket. It's not getting any slower. So, there's no reason why we can't get close.
So one thing we saw you doing during your the first bit of this game, you were writing down a lot of things in that book. Were you drawing pictures, or what were you doing?
No, I cannot draw.
Cannot draw.
I can draw a golf ball maybe, but not pictures.
Right. So what were you drawing down or writing down?
Well, just maybe one or two, one over spells. They got off to such a flyer. I thought, maybe it became a little bit predictable. But
were you tearing your hair out at that stage?
Well, the lift, one or two little strands that is left. But no, look, the guys have come off no cricket. So and to come and first up on an absolute road like this, the margins of error is tiny. But they did very well, and like I said, we're in with a good shouter.
And finally, how much are you enjoying the coaching?
No, I do. I love being in the action. This is the closest you're going to get to actually being on the field. It was a decision I made about 3 years ago to take it up. And now there's so many leagues. There are 10 leagues worldwide. So hopefully I can do a few more. It's enjoyable.
Herschel, thanks very much for your time. Or Scooter, as I know you, thanks very much for your time. We know you like being in the action when you had the bat in your hand. You like being in the action when the lights come on at night as well.
Oh.
That is a wonderful stroke also. That is terrific stuff. That's going to make you even happier. Let's go back and join the commentators. Herschel, thanks for your time.
Thanking you.
Always nice hearing from Herschel Gibbs. A 6 to end the over. 11 runs from it. 129 for 1.
Not here, but I tweeted saying cycle.
129 for 1. 91 more runs needed from 48 deliveries. Still 9 wickets in hand. 2 of those, Angelo Matthews, Andre Russell. Power batsman, you would say, in T20 cricket.
Well, Colombo will think that it's within their striking range. They could now get a glimpse of their target. 220 looked quite big when they went in, but I thought this foundation has been outstanding. And Thiksila de Silva, we spoke about his strike rate. Another look at that shot. This is why this man carries a strike rate of close to 160. He can really hit the long ball. He's a big hitter. He will complement Dinesh Chandimal quite well.
Yeah, it has been a workmanlike partnership between these two. Played risk-free cricket, and they've gotten their team to a stage where they could actually press on to win. Oh, is he all right?
Goodness, Lyndon Hannibal, I hope you're all right. That's a lot of flesh there. I hope he's okay. But that was hit firmly. really hit back. Thankfully, he's all right. Matthews can have a laugh. He's with a straight face.
Well, it's one of the things that umpires in the modern game need to be mindful of, especially in T20 cricket. That stroke coming right back at you. Pinned him on the thigh. Luckily, there's a lot of muscle there.
Yeah, it was a deflection. It was a deflection of the bowler. But he did well, Lyndon Hannibal. He was a good cricketer in his days. He used to be a fast bowler. Never knew he had great reflexes.
Should be taken. Yes, big wicket. Naveenul Haq strikes. And the Candy Tuskers will feel happy with this result because it's the aggressor, Dinesh Chandimal, who has to go.
Well, it was a slow bouncer. He just timed the ball. And he must have been surprised to see the ball carrying to the fieldsman. Disappointment for Chandimal, who played so well. And for Candy Tuskers, it's a huge, huge wicket. Given the situation, he perished after scoring 80. It's 131 for 2.
Andrew Russell, the exciting all-rounder, comes to the crease, and at the right time, you would think for the Colombo Kings, that strike rate is what is so significant. Nearing 170.
Come on, Darren. Where are your loyalties now? Dre Russ, are you supporting the Kings with Dre Russ? Where are you going? A West Indian?
We're meant to be neutral. Roshan, unlike Ruslano, our colleague.
All right.
Just go with whoever is doing well.
Edge, taken. This is huge. This is really huge, and the perfect start for Naveenul Haq, and this is exactly what the doctor orders. 2 quick wickets and the set batsman.
He's on a hat-trick. He's redeeming himself, Naveenul Haq. After dropping 2 catches, he has managed to pick up 2 wickets in successive deliveries. Game on for Candy Tuskers. They are back in the game, back in the hunt.
Yeah, just the breakthrough they wanted. Both set batsmen gone. Dixila De Silva, 22 of 16. It's 131 for 3.
Well, the excitement has just heightened. Naveenul Haq is on a hat-trick. The game has just turned on its head. The first wicket to fall, Dinesh Chandimal, looking quite set. He went for 80, and then his partner at the time, he departed. The experience of Matthews prevents that hat-trick from happening.
Critical phase as far as I'm concerned. 2 new batsmen. But the good thing for the Kings is that both these players are highly experienced. Angelo carries a lot of experience. Russell, well, you don't need to say too much about him. He's just been one of those champion cricketers. So this is going to be really crucial for the Kings. How would they maneuver? How would they navigate from here?
Single to end the over takes Angelo Matthews to 2,500 runs in T20. 132 for 3. Still gettable Colombo Kings. Required rate just about 12.5. When you think of Angelo Matthews and Andre Russell at the crease, there's a lot of hope for Herschel Gibbs and his squad.
It's a similar kind of a situation when you go back to Candy Tuskers' innings. This was the period when they were stroking the ball around, just rotating the strike, taking the scoreboard, setting up for the last 4-5 overs. And I think Colombo can do that as well.
So one thing about the Candy fielding, they haven't impressed me really. There have been a few mistakes they made, few easy runs. In fact, that last bit of fielding, too lucky they didn't get a single or a run. So Sikuke Prasanna, another very experienced cricketer, but someone who has actually not delivered. He's played a lot of cricket. He's someone who is a bits and pieces cricketer, but I'm disappointed with what he's achieved. Another look at that wicket, Thikshila De Silva, very good catch. But on the point of Dre Russ, there are millions of people watching. I mean, what about he not playing for the West Indies? They're in New Zealand now.
Well, Phil Simmons said he was surprised to know that Andre Russell committed to playing in this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League. I guess from a Cricket West Indies perspective, they've allowed players to make decisions. They haven't been restrictive in their approach. And players like Andre Russell, Karen Pollard, they've embraced that. They've worked together with Cricket West Indies, and there's a common understanding to meet each other halfway in the interest of West Indian cricket. So I don't think it will be a great issue for the West Indies, especially with the pending T20 World Cup in 2021.
Ball in. The second time we have seen wicket being picked up with a long hop. And that's a huge wicket. The game has turned on its head. 3 quick wickets for Candy Tuskers. They're now in front.
This is what we are talking about. Sikuke is a quickish leg spin. He really doesn't spin. Holds a lot of top spin, googlies, and there you are. You could see just zipped it through. And this is a huge wicket. 2 quick wickets in the over. And now Angelo Matthews. Colombo Kings under serious pressure. Losing their captain for 2. To 134 for 4.
My question is, does he select himself as a batsman for West Indies? If he can't bowl, that's a big question.
Sri Lanka is half
Okay.
No, sir. Problem with this situation is he told the board players after being in bubbles for so long. So that's the reason why they didn't select it, because they had an understanding that he's going Ashan Priyanjan, new batsman, wickets tumbling, tempo of the innings changing, the nature of this contest changing in favour of Kandy Tuskers.
Well, looking at Sikuge Prasanna, is to see him with a different run up those days. He would have his hands clasped together with the ball, but now he tends to run in a little bit more freely and appears to have a little bit more control as he delivers at the crease. He's very different in his stride and short delivery. Well, great effort on the boundary, but it is a 4. Rianjan gets off the mark. 6 runs and a wicket, 138 for 4.
We've been talking about downloading the My 11 Circle app. The My 11 Circle MVP of the match so far, Kusal Pereira, for his innings. At the top, Dinesh Chandimal also featuring Gurbaz with his half century. Kusal Mendes. So, hope that you've selected these players in your My 11 Circle fantasy team, because you would have won points.
Overcommitted himself with that stroke, Angelo Matthews. The pace wasn't there. He was into that stroke a bit early, and that small mistake cost him big. All eyes are on Andre Russell. If you're a Colombo Kings fan, he has to come out with something special to be able to win the game for his side. Brilliant effort by the fieldsman, but in vain. Welcome boundary.
Talk about being special. I thought that timing was absolutely special. Used the pace of the ball, and look at the way it went. And I'm not surprised that Russell has the best strike rate in T20 cricket for players with more than 3,000 runs. He can play some unbelievable shots. I've seen him bat and win games in league cricket, and he is simply a star, a match winner.
He's as stylish as you, Roshan. 2 different shoes. Shows a little bit of its power. Russell Muscle gets a My 11 Circle champion shot.
Yeah, as a bowler, you've got to be at your best when you're looking to bowl at Russell. If you err in your line of length, he's going to take a big chunk out of you. He saw the opportunity, pounded the ball towards the boundary line for 4 runs. My 11 Circle, champion boundary.
See, the other side of the coin is young Anjula. He's a pretty young cricketer, and he's just finding his way. And this is a huge experience bowling to somebody like Russell in this T20 format. The experience will make him better. Now, this is why this league is so important, particularly for the younger cricketers that are coming through for Sri Lanka. Because one thing is, it will showcase the talent. It will show the world what they're capable of, and also. We spoke to Mickey about selection. So many options.
Let's put it this way. It's a huge opportunity for these young, talented Sri Lankan players to get recognized. Show their skills. Prove their worth. Mettle. And who knows? In future, we see them playing different leagues around the world.
Well, if you're not playing, you have a chance. To join the My 11 Circle app and play fantasy cricket. 72 required from 32. My 11 Circle, the proud sponsors of the Lanka Premier League for this season. Cricket fans in India can download the app